Have you ever stared at your bank account and felt that sinking feeling in your stomach? That moment when you realize you're living paycheck to paycheck and no matter how hard you work, you never seem to get ahead? I've been there. My name is Andrew Meet Rich, and 7 years ago, I was drowning in debt, avoiding my credit card statements, and honestly, I was ashamed to even check my bank balance. I made every money mistake you can think of, but I figured it out. And now I want to help you do the same. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to transform your entire financial life in just 6 months. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. This is a proven month-by-month blueprint that's helped thousands of people break free from financial stress and start building real wealth. Even if today's topic doesn't feel super relevant right now, the next one could completely change your life. So hit that like button and subscribe because we're about to dive deep. Let me tell you about Sarah, one of my clients. She came to me last year completely overwhelmed. She was earning $50,000 a year as a teacher, but somehow she was always broke. Every month felt like a financial emergency. Sound familiar? Sarah told me, Andrew, I don't understand it. I'm not buying designer bags or taking expensive vacations. Where is all my money going? And that's when I realized Sarah was suffering from what psychologists call the ostrich effect. She was avoiding her finances because looking at them felt too painful. But here's what happened next. In just 6 months, using the exact system I'm about to share with you, Sarah went from having zero savings to building a $3,000 emergency fund and investing $200 every month. The transformation wasn't magic, it was method. And here's where most people get stuck. They think they need to earn more money first. But the real secret? It's not about how much you make, it's about how intentionally you manage what you already have. Month one is all about facing reality, and I know this sounds scary, but stay with me. You need to calculate what I call your core four numbers. First, your net income. That's what actually hits your bank account after taxes. Second, your fundamental expenses, rent, groceries, utilities, the stuff you absolutely cannot live without. Third, your future you money, anything already going to savings or investments. And fourth, your fun spending, the money left over for the little pleasures that make life enjoyable. Now, when you start doing this, you might feel a bit sick to your stomach. You might discover you're spending $300 a month on subscriptions you barely use, or that you're spending more on takeout than you are on groceries. But here's the reframe: knowledge is power. You can't fix what you can't see. I remember when I first did this exercise, I was spending almost $400 a month on random stuff, coffee here, lunch there, impulse purchases on Amazon. I was literally bleeding money and didn't even realize it. Your action step this month: get brutally honest about these four numbers. Use an app, use a spreadsheet, whatever works, but make it simple because if it's complicated, you just won't do it. Month two is where the magic starts happening. Your goal is simple but powerful. Save 1 month's worth of your fundamental expenses. So if your rent, groceries, and bills add up to $2,000, that's your target. I know what you're thinking. Andrew, that sounds impossible. But hear me out. This one step alone moves you into the top 10% of people who actually take control of their money. Most people never get here, not because they can't, but because their brain fights against it. We're wired for immediate gratification, which makes saving feel like punishment. But here's the truth. You're not depriving yourself. You're buying freedom. When I was broke, I used to think rich people were just lucky or had some secret. The real secret? They understood delayed gratification. So for the next 30 days, go all in. Cancel subscriptions you barely use. Cook at home instead of ordering delivery. Pause non-essential purchases. This temporary discomfort is buying you permanent peace of mind. Your action step? Be aggressive but realistic. If 1 month feels too intense, stretch it to 2 or 3 months. But don't use a longer timeline as an excuse to keep spending unnecessarily. The faster you build this foundation, the sooner you break free from that paycheck-to-paycheck anxiety. Month 3 is where we tackle the monster under the bed: bad debt. Most people try to save and pay off debt at the same time, but they end up spinning their wheels because they treat all debt as equal. Big mistake. Some debt, like your mortgage or student loans, can actually help build wealth over time. But credit card debt, personal loans, that's financial quicksand that's pulling you down. Here's your battle plan. List all your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. Anything over 8% gets attacked with everything you've got. Why? Because paying off 18% credit card debt is like getting a guaranteed 18% return on your money. Show me an investment that beats that consistently. I remember when I had $12,000 in credit card debt. The minimum payments were killing me, and I felt hopeless. But once I focused all my extra money on the highest interest debt first, I knocked it out in 8 months instead of what would have been 20 years making minimum payments. Your action step this month? Take every dollar you can from that leftover money you calculated in month 1 and throw it at your highest interest debt. Once that's gone, move to the next one. It's like a financial avalanche, and momentum builds fast. Month 4 is when we start building real wealth, and this is where most people make a huge mistake. They think they need to finish paying off all their debt before they start investing. Wrong. Once you've eliminated the high interest debt, it's time to split your focus between building your emergency fund and investing. Why? Because time is your most valuable asset when it comes to investing. Every month you delay is compounding you'll never get back. Let me put this in perspective. If you invest $200 a month starting at age 25, you'll have over $500,000 by retirement. Wait until 35 to start? You'll have less than half that amount. First, max out any employer matching in your retirement plan. If your company matches 50 cents for every dollar you contribute, that's an instant 50% return. You literally cannot find a better investment anywhere. Next, open a tax-advantaged investment account. Keep it simple with broad market index funds. The S&P 500 has averaged over 10% annually for the last 20 years. You don't need to pick individual stocks or try to time the market. Your action step? Start with whatever you can, even $50 a month. The goal isn't perfection, it's momentum. As you build your emergency fund, gradually shift more money toward investing. Month 5 is about increasing your income, and this is where things get exciting. Every job should give you one of two things, a learning opportunity or an earning opportunity. Ideally both, but if you're getting neither, it's time to make a move. Here's a hard truth that took me years to learn. The biggest salary jumps rarely come from staying at the same company and hoping for raises. They come from strategic job changes. I know it's scary, but being underpaid is scarier than looking for new opportunities. Even if you love your current job, create a side income stream, sell a skill, start freelancing, monetize a hobby. When I was struggling financially, I started doing bookkeeping for small businesses on weekends. That extra $300 a month felt like a fortune and accelerated my savings plan dramatically. The psychological benefit is huge too. When you're not dependent on a single income source, you feel more confident, more in control. That confidence shows up in salary negotiations, job interviews, everywhere. Your action step this month? Either have the courage to ask for that raise you deserve, start exploring better opportunities, or create an additional income stream. Even an extra $200 a month can cut years off your debt payoff timeline and supercharge your investments. Month 6 is about automation and optimization, and this is where everything clicks into place. Have you ever heard of decision fatigue? It's why you can make great choices all day, but by evening you're ordering pizza instead of cooking dinner. Your brain gets exhausted from making decisions. That's exactly why automation is so powerful for your finances. When you rely on manual decisions to save and invest, you leave room for inconsistency. Some months you're on top of it, other months life gets crazy and you fall behind. The secret to financial success isn't discipline, it's removing the need for discipline altogether. Automate everything: bills, savings transfers, investment contributions, debt payments. Pay yourself first before paying anyone else. I automated my entire system 3 years ago and it's been life-changing. My money goes exactly where it needs to go without me thinking about it. My savings and investments grow consistently, and I never worry about forgetting a payment. But here's the key: your plan isn't set in stone. Review and adjust every few months. As your income grows, increase your savings rate. As your goals evolve, shift your strategy. The financial world is constantly changing, and the more you educate yourself, the better equipped you'll be to capitalize on smart opportunities. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start this journey. The perfect moment doesn't exist, but 6 months from now, you can either be in the exact same financial situation you're in today, or you can be well on your way to financial freedom. The choice is yours, and small shifts today lead to massive changes tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to show you the 3 psychological mistakes that keep 90% of people broke, even when they're following all the right financial advice.